it's also good to make sure you kind of rotate the map so that when they're running your flag, you won't run back to your flag. Instead, you'll run to their base to grab their flag and rotate the map on them so that you're coming up from in front of them and behind them at the same time.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Nexus Esports Edition. We have with us today a very special guest. It's Alex Buck, or Buck57, if I'm correct.
Buck20.
Oh, sorry, there you go, Buck20, because Buck57 is your brother. I do apologize.
Yes.
Well, with Buck20, he is one of the members of the Halo team for Western Wolves. How are you, Alex?
I'm good, thanks. I've just been busy all day playing Halo, trying to practice for our upcoming event in Amsterdam. I completely forgot about this podcast until a few minutes ago, but it's great to be on here, and it's great to be talking to you.
Well, I really do appreciate giving your time in your busy schedule. I know this is important. So let's go right down to it. But firstly, let's talk a bit about you and your relationship with esports in general. Like, how did it all started with you?
Well, I started playing Xbox with my dad as soon as I could pretty much pick up the controller. I was playing Xbox, so I started playing Halo 1 back about 10 years ago, whenever it was. And then from then on, I kind of progressed into on Xbox. So I kept playing on Xbox, played Battlefield 2, Battlefield Modern Combat. Then eventually went back to Halo 3 when it came out. And when Halo 3 came out, that's when I started becoming more interested in trying to get good at the game, playing it more than just for fun. So I started entering tournaments around the UK, and I ended up going to a tournament in London and coming second and winning £600. So, and then after that, I kind of got fixed on trying to be the best in Halo. And that's what kind of drove me like I wanted to be the best in Europe, and I wouldn't stop until I got to the best. Like I played for 2 years, like starting from the start of Halo 3. It took me 2 years to become the best, but it was worth it.
Nice.
And then, in terms of like Halo, like I just love Halo games. I've always loved Halo since the start.
Nice, nice. I mean, it must have been quite a learning curve, I guess, and there's a lot of effort. I mean, you describe it in a few minutes, but there's a lot of effort into the story. Was that when you won the tournament of £600? Were you a member of Western Wolves, or was that a solo?
No, that was a while ago. Like I've only joined Western Wolves at the start of last year, so that's when it started. We were part of Western Wolves, but before that, we'd have been on like numerous other teams. And at the start of Halo 3, that I was by myself. Like I was funding myself to go to events, so paying my own way to go there. I had no support whatsoever. So just money out of my own pocket and my family's pocket. So my mum and dad are really supportive of me, and they helped me get to events.
Nice, nice. And was the same experience? I mean, unfortunately, your brother isn't with us, but was it the same thing with him as well? Like as your brother?
It was similar, but then he saw me playing, and he was kind of like, I want to do this as well. So he was watching me play. He was watching me compete in tournaments. So my first 2 tournaments that I played in the UK, he didn't actually play. He just came to watch to see what it was all about. Then he came to the event, saw how good it was, saw how great the community was in Europe, and he just wanted to play. So after the 2 events, I started practicing with my original team members. One of them couldn't get online for one day to practice, so I got my brother in to sub. Then we realised how good he was, so we decided to pick him up a few weeks after.
Nice. No, that's good. That's good. And how would you describe, well, Halo community in Europe, in the esports sense? How would you describe the community so far?
It kind of varies depending on which game you're playing, because at Halo 2 it was quite a strong community, but it was really small. Halo 3 was a lot bigger, but there was a lot of new people in it, but there was also kind of like a hierarchy in terms of the good players didn't really talk to the lesser players. Whereas on Halo Reach and Halo 4, I think it kind of integrated, and all the players talked to each other, and they all like got on, spoke at events. And although we haven't got as many players in the community that keep playing and that are active at the moment, I think we've got a good bunch of players. And I think the only thing we're lacking is a few more mature players, because there's still quite a lot of youngsters that play that are in it, like the teens, like teenagers, and they're just kind of a bit immature. But hopefully they grow out of it.
Oh,
but
that's
everybody seems to love each other, like love playing the game and love going to events, and that's why we still got events going in Europe. We've got events in France, Amsterdam, Germany, Finland, and the UK as well.
Nice, nice. How do you feel Halo is turning out within that Europe environment in terms of other FPS venues within esports?
I think Halo is kind of discarded when you compare it to Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is such a big franchise and such a big game. But I think there is definitely room for Halo still in terms of like EGL and all the other UK and European events and that tournaments that we hold. So I think Halo has a lot to work on in terms of like how many players come to the events, the settings, the game types, how it appeals to the public. Because Call of Duty is so friendly towards like the customer. Like anybody that I know plays Call of Duty, whereas in Halo it's kind of, if you ask people about Halo, some people will know, but for the majority of people they'll be like, oh, what's Halo? Whereas anybody, you can talk to anybody in the public and they'll be like, oh, this is Call of Duty is really good straight away. So I think really Halo just needs to kind of mature a bit more and just get more people, let's get some more publicity going for it. So maybe some more advertising from the competitors, some more advertising from the tournaments, and that should help it.
Yeah, that's true. And talking about it, about this as well, because Halo 4 just came out, well, not just, but a few months ago it came out, and it was a huge... I love the story, the single-player mode, and the multiplayer modes added a lot of stuff in terms of game modes and also maps that were specifically designed with esports in mind, with the competitive nature and whatnot. How do you feel has been the impact of this new release within the esports?
I think it's great. Like Halo 4 has got a lot more going for it compared to Halo Reach. I think Halo 4 is a lot more like Halo 3, because I think Halo Reach was kind of the stepping stone between Halo 3 and Halo 4, and it wasn't that good in my opinion. I preferred Halo 3 a lot more. But yeah, Halo 4 with all of its improvements is a great game. I think there's a few things that 343 Industries can do to make it better, but they've been working with Bravo, who used to be part of MLG, and he's been working with them closely, and he's trying to get some more competitive-based settings and playlists going to be added to this actual Halo 4 online multiplayer.
Nice.
So I've actually heard about, I don't know if it's when it's going to happen, but there's going to be a competitive playlist on the Halo 4 playlist. So you can just jump online and go on there straight away and play. You don't have to wait for a custom game. So that's pretty good.
Oh, that is pretty good. And what aspects of, for instance, is there any maps or weapons that you feel that are stronger within the competitive setting in your experience so far with this new platform, the Halo 4?
On the competitive settings that we play at the moment, because the DMR is probably the most popular gun to use when you play matchmaking, but when it comes to actual custom games, we've altered the settings and kind of changed them a bit so that the battle rifle is a bit stronger. So it's an actual 4-shot kill instead of a 5-shot kill, so it's going back to kind of the Halo 2 kind of style of gameplay.
Oh, I see.
But it's got both the DMR and the BR, so on some maps you're going to be using the battle rifle a lot more, whereas the larger maps that need long range kind of battles, you can still use the DMR.
Yeah.
But it's good because it means that the people that play matchmaking can still pick up the DMR and use it, whereas the people that play customs and competitive can pick up the BR a lot more because they're used to playing with that. But it's good kind of like mixture of both the weapons. It's a bit of a shame at the moment that in the competitive settings that we play, we don't have many other weapons other than the battle rifle, the DMR, sniper, and rockets. Like I'd like if there was a few more guns in there, like say like the rail guns in there a bit more. Maybe a few other more like new guns that the people that you play matchmaking use.
Oh, I see. I guess maybe the worries or the concerns are maybe an imbalanced match or something like that. Maybe an openness towards certain weapons. And now that we're going through the gameplay, let's talk about your team. If you can give us a bit of a rundown with the rosters, because I know that Western Wolves Halo team also changed a bit in the last year. I think one member left.
Well, Western Wolves as a Halo team, we've been together, like me and my brother have been the solid core of the team for the last year or so. But we've been mixing players, taking players in and out of the team throughout the year. So right now it's myself, my brother, Buck57, King of JC and Inspired to Kill. JC's been with us for a while now, and he attended the last EGL event at European Gaming League, and also Major League Gaming with us before the Halo event, for the Halo 4 event, when we played the Halo 4 tournament before the game was even released. So he's been with us for a while. He's been to a few events, and then Inspired to Kill was he was a really good Halo 3 player, but he didn't play much Halo Reach because he had work and a lot of more commitments in terms of like in real life compared to gaming. So he kind of took a back seat for a while, but he's came back for Halo 4, and he is really one of the best players I played with in terms of his raw slaying ability, and he can literally he can just control a part of the map for the entire game with no one contesting it at all. He's just amazing. Like I love playing with him, and I can't wait to play at the next event of him.
Nice. And actually, your allowing me to go to actually the next subject or the next question that I had in mind was, let's talk about your team synergy. In terms of when you're in a competitive match and you know there is a prize at stake.
Yes.
How do you guys work in your communication skills? Because obviously there's, watching Halo matches. There's always codes, well, for areas of the map. Oh, he's in gold, he's in red, he's jumping around, he's in second floor, and stuff like that. I mean, do you guys have a role specific to each member? For instance, how do you guys work out?
Well, in Spider-Kill, like I said, he tries to like control a certain part of the map. For on certain maps and game taps, he'll do like a kind of like specific role. But for the most part, myself, my brother, and King of JC, we kind of just run around the map in free roam, but also try and help each other. It's on Halo 4. It's all about us being near each other or in the same kind of area, so you can shoot and help each other. Because it's individual skill isn't that strong at the moment. Like it's not. Like you don't have to be the best individually to win games at the moment on Halo 4 because it hasn't got the skill gap hasn't kind of stretched much. So all the players in terms of individual skill, they can all shoot the same. They can all aim as well as each other. So it's all about making sure you're working together as a team and pushing together. So in games, we just make sure we have really good communication in terms of like we try and talk calmly. We try not to shout unless it's a really important call out, and we just kind of run around the map together and make sure it's always precise communication, and that we always try and help each other as much as possible.
Nice, nice. How much training do you guys do before a match? Like for instance, you guys are training now for Amsterdam. I mean, how much training does that entail?
We try and get online to do like at least 2 to 3 hours a night if we can, but we are always busy because some of us work, and my brother and I are bartenders, so we work some nights on the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we don't play that much, but during a week we try and play at least 2 or 3 hours as a team. Then maybe an hour or two individually whenever we can. But for the most part, we just make sure we get 2 to 3 hours each day before an event.
Nice, nice. And I noticed as well there was a tweet a few days ago mentioning, I believe it was you, that you were within the top 20 list of best Halo players currently.
That was on the Halo Waypoint. There's a little challenge that was on there a few weeks ago, and it was pretty much the first top 20 people to get, I think it was 150 multi kills, so that double kills or triple kills. Like the first 120 people to get 150 get a prize. So me and my brother in the morning, it came out at 6 o'clock in the morning. And we were still awake from playing Halo the night before, so we carried on playing from 6 o'clock till about 7 o'clock, and then we managed to get into the top 20. I think I was 12th and he was 15th, so
nice.
It was good. We're still waiting for the prizes, but they will come eventually. I've been told that they will come eventually. It does take a while. So I think we get a Halo 4 t-shirt, Halo 4 Forward into Dawn Blu-ray, and also Halo 4 soundtrack, and maybe some other things. So I'm not sure, but it's a pretty cool prize just for playing the game.
That is true. It's a pretty good prize indeed. Yeah. How do you feel about that? I mean, you have your brother now as well. I mean, he followed you as well. But how does it feel having that a lot of experience? You've done this for a while now with Halo. Was that a difficult transition, even also moving from different venues, moving from, for instance, Halo 2 that you mentioned, then Halo Reach, Halo 3, then Halo 4? It was a very difficult transitions and dealing with modifications to the game and whatnot in terms of competitive gaming.
Yeah, of course, it's a lot different. Every game's different. Like you can't just say that it's a Halo game. It's going to be the same. It depends. Every game is different. In sometimes in small aspects, sometimes in a lot bigger aspects of the game. But I would say that Halo Reach was the biggest change for me compared to like going from Halo 2 and Halo 3 were similar in terms of the same kind of gun, same kind of maps. Whereas Halo Reach had a different gun, different kind of mechanics to the gun. Whereas there was a hit scan, so the bullets hit a lot more precisely, and also with sprint as well, like so you could run faster. Because Halo 3 didn't have that, so it was a big change to have that in Halo Reach. And then Halo 4, there's a lot more things to do. The mechanics are similar to Halo 3, but it's also got parts of Halo Reach. So I would say it is really hard to change from game to game, but you kind of adapt to it as you start playing it more.
That's true. That's true. And
you just got to keep playing and playing, and then eventually it kind of clicks and it works. It's strange how to explain it, but you just got to keep playing and get loads of experience on the game and just find out how things work.
That's true. That's true. And tell us about the history of Western Wolves, about your team in terms of the competitive venues that you already participated and the places that you have got to.
For Western Wolves, we've only been to a few events with them. Like we've been to the European Gaming League. There's been 2 of them that we've been to, and there's also been MLG. And we also just before we joined, we went to another event in Amsterdam, where we placed first with our team. But that was just before we joined Western Wolves. We were on a team called Apex Gaming before that, or Apex Esports.
Oh, okay.
So, but then basically on Western Wolves, we've been to 2 events, one in Manchester, one in Blackpool, and then we also went to an event in America, in Dallas, Texas.
Nice.
That was really cool though to go to. Like I always love going to American events. I think that was my 10th or 11th one I've been to. So it's pretty. Like I'm quite experienced in terms of going abroad to play games, but it's always fun, and it's all the Americans love us because of our accents.
Obviously.
So I think it's really cool. And then we've got quite a lot of friends and fans out there. Like you'd be amazed how many people actually support us. You wouldn't think that there'd be that many people, but we get quite a good crowd when we're playing.
Oh man, I'm happy to hear that. I mean, and that's true. I mean, we always love, British people, coming to, the States or Canada or the North American region. I mean, your accent already sells everything. You guys have authority just because of the accent, for no reason. Yes, sir. Anyway, and talking about that, just before, when you're in an event, your team is in an event, and right before a match, how is your mindset? Do you guys talk about strats, and then after a match, how do you guys deal with the things that you've say that you guys did right and the things that you need to improve and say, oh, in the next match we have to do this and that? How does that work with you guys?
Well, before a match, we just kind of try and just warm up a bit, just play. Let's kind of like make sure we're calm, kind of like make sure we go over the maps, because before the match up, we normally know what maps we're playing and what game types. So we have a few minutes to go over them, being like, so this is what we're going to do on this map, and we kind of talk through it, like, and take it a game at a time. So like a few seconds before each game, we'll go through our strat, like our base strategy, our starting strat, and also like roughly what we're going to do, or who to, like. Sometimes if there's a good player on the other team, we'll kind of bully them and say, right, we're going to pick on that guy and kill him a lot because he's the good player.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. You got to do it sometimes. It sounds bad, but it does work. And also, like in between games, say if we win a game, we'll just go, oh, we did this well, we did that well. That was a really good play by so and so. But then if we do something bad or we lose, we try and talk over it calmly. Like we won't get into a heated discussion then and there. We might mention 1 or 2 things, but then we'll forget about it, because at the end of the day, that game's over and done with. You have to start with a new game.
True.
You can't really focus on the game that you've just lost. You got to focus on the game at hand.
That's true. That's a good strategy actually. And what do you believe? And that's actually, well, that's more not in the sense of the team, but that's you personally. In your experience and currently with the Halo Esports venue, what do you think? Is there something that you feel that is? What is the strongest thing now currently within the Halo Esports setting, and what would be the thing that is most lacking as well?
The strongest thing, what, in terms of like weapons, or what do you mean?
Well, no. In terms of the like for instance, as you mentioned, for instance, like Call of Duty is the big monster in your opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's still Call of Duty actually has its issues as well in terms of community.
It's going to have its issues, yeah.
Yeah. So, but now in terms of that strength of Halo within esports setting, is there something that you need? Do you feel that Halo is very good at this, but it needs something in this side or in this item or subject it needs to be improved?
Okay, yeah. I think Halo, in terms of, though, I want to say the bad thing first and get out of the way. The bad thing is that we're quite immature, and then also there's so many players so many people that play Halo, but they're so lazy in terms of they won't attend events, they won't go onto the forums and post. They'll just play the game, then go off. But we need more players who are more active in the community, and they start posting and talking to other people, making YouTube videos, doing live streams, and even podcasts like this. Like, they need people to get more involved in that whole kind of social media and marketing of the whole game, and just get it like. And then that's the only thing that I can think of. The maturity of the whole scene as well. I'd say it's not as bad as Call of Duty. There's a lot more youngsters playing Call of Duty,
yeah.
But we've still got quite a lot of people who are the attitudes towards the game are really bad. Like they'll play the game competitively, but they'll moan about it when they're playing. They'll be like, "Oh, this game sucks. Why am I playing Halo?" But you can't say that. Like if you want to help, even by yourself to get potential sponsors, you can't be saying that about the game that you're playing. You got to be kind of more positive towards it.
Obviously.
And then I'd say one of the best things that we've got in terms of the community is the players at the top nowadays. They're really easy to approach, whereas on previous Halo games, the top players wouldn't talk to you. And I admit that I'd be one of them to an extent as well. Like the top players wouldn't talk to the people that were lower down because they just didn't feel they had the time to or they didn't want to. Whereas nowadays, you can go into a custom game with anybody. Like I'll join random custom games because I have to. Like there's less people playing Halo 4, so you can't really be picky about who you play with. So, but it means that the kind of professional players and the top ranking players get to play with the people that are lower down.
Yes.
And the people that the lesser players get to learn a lot more, and they just get to kind of talk to the people that are at the top of the game.
Nice. Well, that's true. That's true. Okay. Okay. And well, you mentioned Amsterdam and whatnot, and your team now currently. What are you guys looking for, looking forward to? That's what I mean. What are you guys looking forward to for this year, for 2013? Now that it started.
The thing that I'm looking forward to most is going to Spain. We're going to Spain for the LVP Division de Honor. It's a Spanish league that for the last 2 or 3 years they've been running events, but they haven't invited anybody outside of Spain. Whereas this year there was we won the qualifiers a few weeks, but I think it was in December or November even. We won the qualifiers to actually attend it. So it was our team and another team from Sweden who came top 2 in the tournament. And all the best teams from Europe were playing in it, and we came first. In the winner bracket we lost quite early on, but in the loser bracket we managed to do a really good comeback, and we ended up winning the tournament. So, but that was really good and inspired. The Kill and JC played really well. So, but then in that regards, I'd say LVP in Spain is going to be the best tournament to go to, because I've seen some of the videos on YouTube of the whole tournament that they've done, and it looks so professional. Like compared to the ones in the UK, it just looks amazing. And it's also Spain. I'd love to go to Spain. I've been there before, but then I just want to go somewhere sunny, and I'll try and stay there for a few extra days afterwards, so I can get kind of a holiday out of it as well.
Nice, nice. It's a very good reason to go somewhere. Yeah, yeah. I understand. I completely understand. Anyway, and last but not least, where can people follow you guys in all these activities? I mean, how can they follow you guys? I mean, is there a website, Twitter?
You can go on westernwolves.com, and also my brother and I and our teammates have Twitters. So my one is twitter.com/buck20, and my brother's is buck57. And we also just started up a YouTube channel called it's on youtube.com/BucksTV, so BUKS TV. And we're going to be uploading all of our gameplays on there on a daily basis, either our gameplays or European gameplay. And we're going to try and continue that for a few months, just doing daily gameplays. They normally come out about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So every day you can check on YouTube, and there will be a new Halo video on there.
Sweet.
And by following us, you'll see us tweeting about our teammates. And also, if you want to get any more advice or join a community, we have haloforum.eu, which quite a lot of players use, and most of the European ones that I know use, or most people from the UK anyway. And it's a really good forum. There's people talking about Halo on there constantly. I'd say we've got a few thousand people that would go on there every day. So it's great.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And well, actually, this would be the last but not least bit. Do you have any messages or shout-outs that you would like to give us before we sign off?
I'd just like to thank Western Wolves and all our sponsors for helping us so much and supporting us so well, especially Mad Cats. They've been really great for us recently. They've given us new controllers, headsets, and all the equipment that we need for events. Also a shout out to EGL. They're doing so much in this new year, and I can't wait to attend their events. And also to LVP for getting us into their tournaments. They're normally quite kind of picky with who they pick, and also they don't like picking European teams to come to their events, but they've actually let European teams attend their events for once, and I can't wait to attend, and I hope their event's amazing. Nice. Also a shout out to my team, of course, but they don't deserve it as much as my sponsors.
I hope they understand that statement. They will. Yeah. Anyway, Alex, I thank you very much for your time, and good luck to you, your brother, the whole team in the training and in the match in Amsterdam, and we'll be sure to follow you guys in the next, well, in this new year.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Great, this little interview. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I'll keep you updated, or you can just check on Twitter. But I'll keep you updated on what we're doing over the whole year.
Oh, thank you very much. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to the podcast. Please follow, Western Wolves, Alex Buck. We'll post the links right below the video. And thank you guys again, and I'll see you next time.